most terrifying mass extinction in recorded history. The Earth is approaching its doomsday. Enigmatic echoes. Hello everyone. Dear friend, throughout 4 billion years of history, the Earth has undergone countless upheavals. And all those changes have contributed to creating a wonderful living planet as it is today. Once, the Earth witnessed what seemed like the apocalypse, as it endured nature's unbearable trials. But in the end, the blue planet still proved its fierce vitality. When still standing sun after those great, tragic exterminations, join enigmatic echoes as we journey back through time to explore what those terrifying mass extinctions were, right in today's video. OC disaster. Although OC is an essential part of human beings, the emergence of this source of life was essentially the cause of the first mass sterilization in Earth's history. Known as the Great GLIOC event, or also called the OC disaster. The simple chemical element drastically altered the entire process of life formation on our planet. Earth's atmosphere had only about 0.03% of today. Not tsunami OC to live. In fact, OC is extremely toxic to them. This turned out to be a disadvantage when the cyanobacteria appeared. At the beginning, any free OC produced is chemically captured by dissolved iron or organic matter, meaning the OC oxidizes those substances. When terrestrial resources are depleted, free OC begins to accumulate in the environment, marking the beginning of GLI. After the GLI occurred, free OC began to accumulate in the atmosphere. Free oxygen is harmful to anaerobic organisms, and when its concentration increased, it may have wiped out most of the Earth's anaerobic inhabitants at that time. Therefore, these cyanobacteria will be responsible for one of the largest mass extinctions in Earth's history. Finally, aerobic organisms began to develop, consuming O2 and leading to the equilibrium of O2 in the atmosphere. From then on, free OC is an important component of the atmosphere. To this day, cyanobacteria only exist in places with little oxygen, such as deep within the ocean. The Great Ordovician Extinction. The mass extinction events of the Ordovician include 2 extinction events in the late Ordovician, the final stage of the Ordovician. About 444 million years ago, it is considered one of the largest mass extinction events in Earth's biological history. During the 2 mass extinctions, 85% of all marine species became extinct. Along with that, 85% of all species, 60% of all genera, and 25% of all families were wiped out. The first mass extinction on Earth occurred during the period when organisms such as corals and arthropods with shells existed, filling the shallow waters of the world but not yet venturing on the land. Life itself began to spread and diversify, first appearing around 3.7 billion years ago. But about 440 million years ago, a climate change caused seawater temperatures to change and most of the life in the ocean died. At the end of the Ordovician period, widespread glaciation had covered the southern supercontinent of Gondwana. According to a study published in the journal Oceanology, sea ice loss on this scale has reduced the world's high water record and significantly lowered global sea levels, depriving many species of important habitats. Disruption of the food chain and reduced reproductive capacity. However, not all scientists agree with this view. According to National Geographic, other hypotheses suggest that toxic metals may have dissolved into the seawater during the oxygen-depleted period that wiped out marine life. Other scientists believe that a gamma ray burst from a supernova tore a massive hole in the ozone layer, allowing deadly ultraviolet radiation to extinguish life below. However, there is another theory that volcanoes were the main cause of this mass extinction. 50% of Earth's biodiversity is in the Camberie period. During the late stage of the Cambrian period, which lasted from 541 million to 485 million years ago, the Earth has witnessed 2 extinction events known as the final mass extinction events of the late Miocene. The Cambrian period is considered a crucial timeline in the biological history of Earth. For the transition from unicellular organisms to multicellular organisms, including hard-shelled animals such as Giraffes, the Trilobi family. However, about 510 million years ago, experts estimate that 83% of all hard-shelled genera worldwide went extinct. After the mass extinction event, global biodiversity is believed to have decreased by about 35%. Organisms such as Giraffes and Archaeopteryx, ancient cup animals, have been severely affected. For some scientists, the last mass extinction event of the Permian period is considered even more severe than the extinction at the end of the Triassic period about 250 million years later. However, scientists are still not entirely certain about the cause of the last mass extinction event of the Cretaceous period. According to the Great Theory, some hypotheses including the donkey connection, rising sea levels, and the depletion of the OCC were also proposed for this great extinction. Although scientists agree that the late Devonian extinction event wiped out a large portion of various species, there are still many conflicting opinions about the duration of this extinction. The Devonian period lasted from 419 million to 358 million years ago, and the mass extinction events are believed to have lasted from 2 to 4 million years to 20 to 25 million years. According to the New World New England Times, during the 8 to 10 extinction events in the late Devonian mass extinction period, 20% of all animal families and 70 to 80% of all animal species officially disappeared from the Earth's surface. The main victims of this destructive event were marine organisms and coral reefs, leading to massive changes in reef ecosystems. The American Museum of Natural History often writes that corals in general were so severely affected that it took them nearly 120 million years to recover and regenerate. According to paleontologist Mark Maron, a large diameter meteorite collided with Earth, causing tsunamis that devastated coastal ecosystems while disturbing deep ocean layers. Another cause was the vigorous growth of plants that reduced CO2, making the climate colder, which killed off many organisms unable to adapt. Discover magazine writes that scientists believe most extinctions during the late Devonian mass extinction period were due to low oxygen levels in the ocean. But they remain uncertain exactly why there was such low oxygen during that period. The Lau event. About 420 million years ago, the Lau event was the final stage of 3 extinction events occurring in the Silurian period, named after 2 British scientists Irene Bateman and Audra. However, unlike other mass extinctions closely linked to factors like volcanic eruptions, experts have faced considerable difficulty determining the cause of this event. According to Sayonari, 23% of marine organisms were wiped out during this extinction phase. Interestingly, coral forms in shallow waters were almost unaffected. Accordingly, scientists believe the cause was due to ocean deoxygenation beginning to affect deep-sea living organisms. It is also believed that increased sulfur in the ocean contributed to this extinction. Widespread extinction and the decomposition of large amounts of organic matter are also thought to have caused disruption to the carbon cycle, leading to significant climate and environmental changes at that time. However, since the carbon cycle disruption occurred more than 100,000 years after the Lau extinction event, it is difficult to prove whether there was actually a connection between them. The Permian-Triassic extinction event. The Permian-Triassic extinction event, more commonly known as the PT event, is considered the most terrible mass extinction in Earth's biological history, also known by the name the Great Dying. Many scientists believe the destructive scale of PT is unbeatable, with no mass extinction event comparable to it. Occurring approximately 251.9 million years, this mass extinction destroyed 90% of marine organisms and 70% of terrestrial life, essentially rebuilding almost the entire biosphere. All life on Earth today originates from only about 10% of animals, plants, and microorganisms that survived the Permian-Triassic mass extinction. Paleontological evidence shows the main cause of this phenomenon was due to strong tectonic movements of the Earth's crust, leading to the collision and compression of the eruption of magma under the Earth's surface submerged everything in a sea of fire. In addition, dust and toxic gases filled the air, causing the greenhouse effect that made Earth hotter than ever before. In the ocean, changing ocean currents caused many ecosystems to disappear, making life recovery fragile. Another cause believed to have contributed to this bloody mass extinction was the collision of a meteorite with a radius of 500 kilometers with Earth. According to estimates, the recovery and regeneration process after the devastation took up to 10 million years. After the terrible destructive impact of PT on Earth, life was only about 50% of what it was about 50 million years before another mass extinction event arrived. The Triassic-Jurassic extinction event, also known as the end Triassic extinction, occurred about 201 million years ago and is described as having a scale equivalent to events from the late Ordovician, late Devonian, and end Cretaceous periods. Experts estimate that up to 34% of marine genera have gone extinct. Many marine vertebrates and reptiles have disappeared, except for ichthyosaurs and plesiosaurs. Invertebrates such as brachiopods, mollusks, amphibians, and especially lepidosaur reptiles. Even land dinosaurs were severely affected. Approximately 23% of families and 48% of genera became extinct. At the end of the Triassic period, Earth's warming may have been due to massive greenhouse gases released into the atmosphere by the Central Atlantic Magmatic Province, where lava flows may cover the United States. The increase in CO2 acidified the oceans and made it harder for marine life to form shells from calcium carbonate. This extinction event paved the way for dinosaurs to dominate the planet during the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods. Dinosaurs ruled the entire land, while freshwater areas were the domain or ancestors of today's crocodiles belonged to the lepidosaur subclass. The group of plesiosaurs and ichthyosaurs became the masters of the seas. It can be seen that most of the terrible mass extinctions in Earth's history were caused by nature and are cyclical. The collapse of this period will open a new era with stronger vitality. And the question many scientists ask is whether Earth will continue to experience mass extinctions? And if it happens after that extinction, will humans be lucky to survive? Will life be restored? All remains unknown. However, what do you think about this? Leave your opinion in the comments section. And don't forget to give Enigmatic Echoes a like and subscribe to the Enigmatic, as well as remember to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss other interesting discoveries. For now, the video duration will pause here. Goodbye and see you again. Subscribe to the Gia Nigo channel so you don't miss exciting videos.